Remember, we have been learning about our five senses. We learned in depth much more about the sense of sight. Can you tell me some of the information that you remember about the sense of sight? You might have said that our eyes have protection, that the eyelid and eyelashes and eyebrows protect our eye, that our irises protect our eye from the amount of light that it allows in. You might have recalled that there are different colors of irises. You might also have remembered that the pupil is a tiny hole, and depending on how light or dark it is, determines how big or small your pupil is. You did a great job at remembering the sense of sight and what we learned about. Today's main topic or main idea is going to discuss the sense of hearing. I want you for just a moment to close your eyes and listen very carefully for any sounds that might be around you. You can open your eyes. And what were some of the sounds that you heard? Did you hear a dog barking? Maybe a telephone ringing? A knock at the door? Maybe somebody dropped something, a toy? Remember, sounds can be really loud, like a lion's roar, or really quiet, like a whisper. Can you practice roaring like a lion? Roar! How about whispering quiet to a neighbor? Hi, how was your day? I want you to listen as I read the story to find out more about the main topic of today's lesson, the sense of hearing. The sounds we hear and the parts of the body that help us hear. Your ears are always taking in the sounds that come from all around, whether you are awake or asleep, talking or listening, walking or swimming. Even if you cover your ears, you will still be able to hear a sound. Try it. Put your hands over your ears. I am so glad that you are listening to my story today. Could you hear what I still said, even with your hands over your ears? It's not too hard to close your eyes and make it so you can't see anything. But you can't turn your ears off. They hear sound all the time. Listen to find out how the sounds you hear get around or through objects and into your ears. So, how does sound get into your ear? Sound travels through the air in sound waves. Sound waves are bands or waves of noise. Like waves in the ocean, sound waves move up and down as they move across space. Just like ocean waves, sound waves make noise as they move. But unlike ocean waves, sound waves are invisible. You can't see them. Sound waves are all around you, zooming through the air and bouncing off or traveling through objects. Sometimes you can hear someone's voice out in the hallway, even though the door is closed. That is because sound waves can actually travel right through the door or wall, just like the sound waves travel through your hand to your ears when I was talking to you. But the sounds are muffled or quieted because the waves lose strength when they pass through something. However, sound waves do not travel through everything. Sometimes they bounce off things, especially things like mountains or big buildings. Have you ever heard an echo? An echo is a sound that you hear again when the sound waves bounce back off of something. We are going to practice. I'm going to ask you a couple of questions, and you're going to respond with a thumbs up if the answer is yes, or a thumbs down if the answer is no. Is air invisible? Did you give me a thumbs up? Because that is yes. Are desks invisible? Did you tell me thumbs down? If you did, you were right. Desks are not invisible. Is music invisible? Did you give me a thumbs up? Yes, music is invisible. This photo shows a place called Echo Point in the Blue Mountains of Australia. With a good loud shout from this cliff, the sound waves from your voice travel out and bounce off the surrounding cliffs. A second or two later, you hear your voice echo very clearly, almost as if someone else was standing on the opposite cliff and copying everything you said. When sound waves travel into your ear, they bounce off your eardrum right here. Your eardrums are inside your ear, and like real drums, when they get bumped by sound waves, they vibrate back and forth, which means they move back and forth in a very small motion. When these vibrations travel inside your ear to your brain can figure out what sound made the vibrations. Your brain can also help you describe the sound by figuring out if it's loud or quiet and if it's high or low. One way to describe a sound is to tell how loud or quiet it is. This is called volume. Volume means the loudness of a sound, how loud or quiet the sound is. Another way to describe a quiet sound is to say it is a soft sound. A whisper is a soft sound. Think back to the last time you heard a fire alarm in your school. Was it loud or soft? Did you respond with it was loud? If you did, you remembered accurately. A fire alarm is supposed to be really loud, so people cannot ignore it. The loud volume of the fire alarm makes you want to run away from it. If you hear a really loud noise, you might automatically use your hands to cover your ears. Your brain tells you to cover your ears in order to keep your eardrums safe from sound waves that might damage them. Sometimes people use earplugs or earmuffs to keep the really loud, damaging noises out of their ears. So protect your ears from loud noises, and unless a parent or doctor is helping you, never put anything into your ears. The only thing that should go in your ears are sound waves. So, boys and girls, what was the main topic or the main idea of today's lesson? If you said that the main idea or topic of today's lesson was the sense of hearing, you were correct. How does sound travel through the air? Did you just tell me that sound travels through the air in sound waves? What part of your ear vibrates or moves back and forth when the sound waves bump into it? Did you just tell me that the eardrum vibrates when the sound waves bump into it? We talked about the volume of sound, and that is how loud or quiet something is. What sound can you think of that has a loud volume? You might have said a fire alarm, a car horn, or a police car siren. What are some sounds that are quiet or have a low volume? Did you say a whisper, a mouse, or someone tiptoeing down the hall, or maybe somebody saying, shh?